and welcome to UC Today. My name is Kieran Devlin and today's session is how proactive monitoring elevates your Microsoft Teams phone journey. I'm delighted to be joined by Randah McKinnie, VP of Product at Martello. Randah, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Kieran. Glad to be here.
Before we explore exactly how proactive monitoring can amplify and elevate your Teams phone journey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Randah, and your Martello journey?
Absolutely. I've been at Martello now for almost a year and was excited to join the company because it provided a new challenge for me with a blend of kind of all of the things I've been doing so far in my career. So I have a way back background in network architecture and in Microsoft operating systems and Microsoft Exchange. And that led me into the live collaboration space really early on. And so I've been working in live collaboration tools for the bulk of my career. So here at Martello, we have solutions that are fairly technical on the network side. So I have the aptitude to understand that, and then also work on the importance of that front end digital user experience and ensure that that's excellent for anyone who's using Teams and other collaboration tools.
Perfect. Well, that nicely positions you to talk about today's topic. And I guess starting from a broader, almost state of the industry question, what are some of the major challenges IT teams and the MSP supporting them tend to face when managing modern collaboration?
Right. So I think one of the biggest challenges is obviously if end users and in particular VIPs are having issues with their live collaboration experiences, it's an immediate horrific experience for them. So the big challenge for IT is they get a call either during a meeting or immediately after saying, hey, what went wrong? And how could that possibly have happened? And how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? And so there's a pretty high expectation that as we're using these tools more and more, that experience is going to be incredibly reliable. On top of that, there are now a mix of collaboration tools being used across organizations. This is a new challenge. So not only are people using Teams, we also see within the same company, they might be using Zoom or WebEx. And so having to have the skills inside the organization to understand and monitor and optimize the experience of, supporting all the traffic for all of those tools on top of everything else that's happening is a big load on an IT organization and on what they need to learn and understand.
And why would you say we are seeing so much adoption of Teams Phone in the market in 2025?
Yeah, so that's actually pretty exciting for us. So there's definitely a macro trend of a transition from legacy systems, so people who are using hard phones and all the infrastructure that goes with that, which is starting to feel kind of ancient. Maybe you shouldn't say that quite yet, but certainly there's a transition from getting away from all of that heavy duty, again, very specific technical knowledge required system environment and moving everyone over to a SaaS solution. So it's less expensive, it's more modern, it's more nimble. So there's a cost savings there. And there's also the integrated experience that people get as they move into these tools. So with Teams Phone, suddenly you can actively make and receive calls, and that includes out to the PSTN or just regular phone line directly from your Teams client. So people are able to do a lot of the things that they could do with phone systems like manage call transfers and access their voicemail, things like that. But they don't have to switch from one phone experience to another. They can do all of it in Teams. And then the other, all the offerings that are coming from Microsoft today, you now have that full integrated experience. So whether you're doing an internal call, an external call, you can use the Teams interface. You've now got Copilot and all the richness of the offerings with Copilot. So you can do things like have transcripts from your meetings. You can help summarize what you've heard and all the other integrated experiences across the Office suite, and now called the Copilot suite. That's just of incredible value. And so organizations are shifting for all those reasons.
And that segues nicely into how we can support organizations with those types of transitions, with those migrations. And key to this is what you guys have championed for a while, which is proactive monitoring. How does it help IT teams to deliver better collaboration services? And I guess fundamentally, how would you define proactive monitoring?
Yeah, so in the digital experience management space, or DEM, which is where we are at Martello, people talk about two kinds of monitoring. So there's the real user management experience, and then there's proactive monitoring. So real user management means while the calls are happening, while the meetings are happening, we're actually monitoring those real users. So you and I having this call, we could monitor what was our actual experience. So that gives us information in real time about how the network is performing, how the software is performing to support this experience that we're having. So that's useful. But what about actually knowing ahead of time so that if we see a problem source, we can fix it before we have a bad experience? And that's where proactive monitoring comes in. So what we do is we have what we call robot managers. Sounds super technical, but they go out on the network and they effectively mimic what we're doing in a live call. And they do that on a regular basis to determine whether there are any issues happening from any network segment out into the world, maybe between offices globally. We can actually track what's happening through that whole path. And not only that, we can show you, we can actually show you visibly if you're using all of our tools, what's happening on that path and where the issues are occurring. So that way you can solve the problems. The IT department can solve the problems before they get the angry phone call from the VIP. And make sure that the experience is great ahead of time.
Now, naturally, one of your guys' leading solutions, Vantage DX, already has a proactive monitoring capability for Teams meetings. But this month, you became one of the first in the industry to bring this capability to Teams Phone. Can you please give us more details on this and how it supports both organizations and service providers?
Yes. So we talked before about obviously the value of proactive monitoring and then also why people are switching. So, I mean, one of the things that's valuable is we're now allowing service providers to provide the ability to give the very best level of service to their customers. And we're allowing IT organizations to do that for their constituents by, again, monitoring ahead of time what this experience is going to be with Teams Phone. And we focus in on high value use cases here, which really are, like, while it is valuable to have ad hoc meetings on Teams within an organization, there's a lot more investment that goes into to adding on that Teams Phone capability. And we also have a high value use case around Teams meeting rooms where there's a lot more investment. So with Teams Phone, we're now adding the value in an area where people are investing even more to make sure that the experience is going to be okay. The other thing I would say is we have a higher expectation for that hard phone line experience. So a lot of us are used to, and again, we're trying to make this better for people, but we're used to maybe having I've got to leave the meeting, come back in sort of experience in a meeting over SaaS. But on a phone call, we're not really expecting that kind of experience. So that there's a little higher level expectation on the service levels. And so we want to help facilitate the ability to provide that service level. So that, again, that helps both internal IT organizations and certainly MSPs who are, I think, holding themselves to an even higher standard of the level of service that they're providing.
Brilliant. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today, unfortunately, but it has been a terrific session. So thank you, Randah, for being here.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.
And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share on social media, and we'll see you next time. I've been Kieran Devlin of UC Today. Thanks for watching.